Hi, welcome to the Hollywood Bible. I'm Stan Harrington, and today we're going to talk about qualifying. And I'm not talking about you having to qualify for anything. I mean, how do you qualify the people that you're allowing into your life? In the innermost sanctums of your life, your support group, in your personal life, your professional life, and your creative life. And the reason it's important is because these people carry weight. Their opinions of you and their attitudes towards you mean something. Like if somebody's walking down the street that you don't know and they yell out something like, "You're an asshole," or "You're a lying sack of whatever," you probably won't pay that much attention, and in fact, you may even laugh. But if it comes from somebody that you hold in esteem, somebody you care about, it could be devastating. It could shake your confidence, it could shake your faith, because these people mean something. So who we qualify as being in that inner sanctum is very important, because the most vulnerable part for any artist is their ego. And with age, it doesn't actually get better like everything else does. It literally needs more managing, because the more we become immersed in our careers and the more proficient we become at what we do, the more people we run into. It's just a mathematical thing, we'll run into more people. It's kind of like working out. There's other parts of the equation. When you go to the gym and you lift weights, your feedback is the mirror. And when you look in the mirror and you see results, you get excited and it gives you confidence. But when you don't see results, it shakes your confidence and you shakes your faith and you wonder whether it's even worth doing it. So then you realize that nutrition is a big part of the equation. And in fact, a lot of people say it's 60 to 80% once you get to that point. It's the same thing with an artist's life. Once you become proficient at what you do, more people will come into your life and that becomes part of the equation and you have to manage that. Now, if they're not adding to your life, you have to get rid of them. A friend of mine said, if they're not adding to my life, I cut them loose. Now, that may seem harsh, and it may seem even easy, but it's not easy and it's not harsh. In fact, it's really a benefit to the person that you're letting go, and to yourself, and to everybody else around you. And the reason I say that is if we use an example of, say, a relationship, a personal relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody and it's only one way, I don't know how you call it a relationship. I mean, the word relationship itself implies two people or two things, So if it's one way, it's not a relationship. It's something, but it's not that. So you need to get rid of those people. And everybody knows somebody that has earned a place in their life that you want to spend more time with, but you don't have more time with. Well, if you get rid of those that don't deserve your time, you might have more time for these people. Now, when we get back from this break, we'll talk about qualifying people and how to identify those people that you should keep out. And if they're already in, if you need to get rid of them. We'll be right back.
Come join the Stella Adler family of great actors, writers, directors, and producers.
Stella Adler has produced the finest actors that we have today.
Brando, De Niro,
Selma Hayek,
Benicio del Toro,
Sean Astin,
Susan Sarandon,
Henry Winkler in The Fonz.
Warren Beatty. What more do you need?
We're very proud of what has been accomplished.
People come from across the United States and around the world to the Stella Adler Los Angeles.
It's a technique that you can actually learn. It's a technique that you can actually understand. It's a technique that's actually doable.
So we hope to see you soon.
They really know what they're doing.
Now, how do we identify these people? And how do we qualify these people? How do we find out about their credentials? Well, today, it's not as difficult as it was in the past. I mean, there was ways to identify people and to research people in the past, like talking to people that were in the industry that we knew, talking to friends, trusting your intuition. But today we also have the internet. So it's very easy to go online and literally find out a person's credentials. And rather than disparage somebody else or another person or another filmmaker or actor or artist, I'll just talk about myself. And it's very easy to find out what I've done as a filmmaker or as an educator just by going on, say, Google or by Amazon to see what films I've done, what I've directed, and what I've written. And so you can see that I've actually done work. If you're looking at me as an educator, you can see what seminars and where I've spoken, what festivals I've done. The National Association of Broadcasters, which is the world's biggest media show, or that I've worked at Stella Adler for 25 years, which is probably the world's most famous acting school, or Women in Film, another international organization, or the Self-Employment in the Arts conferences where I talk to universities. So it's very easy to research a person's credentials, either as an educator or as a collaborator. And when you bring somebody into your life in this way, it's very important to know what they've done and if they're just talkers, what I call talkers. Talkers are the people that you've really got to be careful of, because there's a lot of people out there that will sell themselves as experts and promise you the world, but they haven't got the right to promise you anything because they've never done anything. They just talk about it. There are some people that will just read about writing and then suddenly write a book on it. And suddenly they're experts, but they've never literally done it. You know, there was one guy that hired me as a writer who I wrote a script for, and then he went online for 16 weeks and proceeded to tell me how to write the best characters for his film. But he's never written a script before. And we talked about the value of theory and practice in another episode. You can't just read about stuff. You literally have to do it. Actors can't just read a scene and suddenly perform it. They have to rehearse it. And the more they rehearse it, the better it is. That's what presents itself on stage or in front of a camera. And it doesn't even matter if it's not the arts. It doesn't matter what it is. We talked about swimming in another episode. You can't just read about swimming and then suddenly jump in the pool and win an Olympic trial. It's hard enough just to float, let alone get to the other side. But if you do want to win that Olympic trial, you've got to practice over and over, day after day, hour after hour, year after year, till you're proficient in it. Because you'll encounter problems, and those problems and obstacles that you encounter in the physical action of doing it creates a learning opportunity. And those learning opportunities cannot be gotten just by reading about it. This is what makes you proficient. Practice makes you proficient. So those people that are just talkers have no right to speak to you or give you opinions or collaborate with you, because what they're saying is hollow. It's not grounded in anything. Yet you've given them license if you haven't researched them, if you haven't qualified them. That's why you've got to get them out. They're dangerous. They're dangerous because they waste your time. And for an artist, time is currency. You cannot waste time. And they're dangerous because also you'll base your work and your opinion of your work and your opinion of yourself on what they say. Can't do it. We'll be right back. The Hollywood Bible is now available worldwide, guys, on Amazon, on Kindle and in paperback. But if you're like me and you don't really want to open up a device on a plane or in bed or on Hollywood Boulevard, get the paperback. It's got a little bit more information than the actual streaming series, and it makes a great gift if you know someone who wants to get into the business or be an artist. So fortify your soul, your spirit, yourself, and your dreams, and get yourself a copy of the Hollywood Bible, huh? There's an energy that comes or that emanates from the person of proficiency, the person who's done it, who's put in the time. There's a weight to it that you can't explain, but if these are your collaborators and these are your mentors and these are the people that are in your life, in your inner circle, they inspire you and make you feel invincible, like there's nothing you can't do. There is a joy that comes from it that you can't get from the relationship you have with just the talker. And that's why it's your responsibility to make sure that you sort the shit from the clay. You find out who the talkers are and who the doers are. These are the people that you have to qualify, reevaluate, and requalify throughout your whole life to make sure that they're the people that you're giving license to, not the wrong people. The people that do things, I can't even put into words what it does to another artist. The best example I can think of is I fell in love with a girl once simply because she played the piano really well. And I hardly knew her, but I asked her if she could play it. And when she did it, she was so proficient that all her experience and all her life and all her training and all that dedication came through and filled me and inspired me. The talkers, all they know how to do is to talk their way into a meeting or talk their way into your life. And if you want to be a salesman, that's great. Bring those people in your life. But that's not what you want to do. The good news is this. You curate your circle. You curate your life. It's really in the palm of your hands who comes in and who goes out. So are you going to do it? Are you going to qualify? This is the Hollywood Bible. I'm Stan Harrington. We'll see you again.